We are live. All right, all right, all right. So everybody's not here. My name is Jay. I'll do the introduction again, but my name is Jay. I'm with GunBuddiesSocial. That is my, I guess, little brainchild, if you want to call it that. But basically, we're going to feel through this. Hopefully, it goes okay. Yeah, we'll see how it goes, but yeah, it should be okay. It should be okay. It should be cool. All right. So basically, what we're going to talk about tonight is, of course, we'll do our introductions, introduce who we are. We'll do a little bit about our backgrounds. We'll get into our firearms, EDC. We'll talk about hopefully practicing what we do as far as practice is concerned, as well as some of the training classes and stuff that we've taken, if any, and then just see where it goes from there. As far as the panel tonight, it's going to be Locs and Load firearm reviews. That's the other gentleman who's joining me. And as far as anybody else, well, you just have to deal with us too. So yeah, we'll just stay idle for a little bit. I'm pretty sure nobody's watching. I have 0 viewers right now. So for the first chat, it's going to be dead. But hey, you got to start somewhere. So yeah, we probably shouldn't have started it exactly at 8, but hopefully it's not too awkward for you guys. All right, so I just opened it up on the live stream side. It's pretty cool. We're actually doing this. This is pretty hilarious. Yeah. We got 1 viewer. Holy shit. Oh, 0 viewers. Damn. We had a viewer for a second, man.
Okay, I was really trying to figure out, like,
I was getting really excited. I was like, yeah, we got to entertain them. Shit. It's a lot of pressure, man. A lot of pressure. Yeah. But, yeah, so what I did was I did a little introduction. Not really, but I just went through kind of like the format of what we're going to do. I guess we can do introductions. I'll let you introduce yourself because you have the much larger channel. And we'll go from there.
All right. Well, Locs and Load Firearm Reviews, Jacksonville, Florida. I did 4 years in the Navy. I did spent like a little over a year in my ship security force. That's where I got to really get hands-on with some of the firearms, especially shotguns, because I was kind of new to shotguns until I joined the military. I did my 4 years. I got out. As being a civilian, I got bored. I was sitting here watching all these YouTube channels, and they would either say something I wanted to hear or like they didn't, and I was maybe mad. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do my own channel and review the things and say things that I want to hear or I think people want to hear. And so far it's really taken off. It's really done good.
That's awesome, man.
It is.
So for me, I guess I started out on YouTube as far as naturally so for me, I can tell you I didn't grow up with firearms in my family, at least. Like every kid, you see them in action movies and all that shit. So I guess eventually curiosity killed the cat. You start looking stuff up, and then YouTube kind of was like the source where you could see the actual firearm that you were interested in. Like, what was the gun in and in the Matrix, Reloaded. So it turned into the I think what was it? No, actually before YouTube, it was the International Firearms Database, something like that. You can look up every
Oh
movie and see
yeah, yeah.
every firearm in there. So that was like the original one, and then it turned into like naturally like YouTube. So that was kind of I guess around like 2009. I'm 25,
Same
but
here.
so so I'll be 26 in January. I don't know.
All right, you got me by a couple months. Turned
Okay.
26.
Okay. Cool. So yeah. So around 2008, 2009, I guess. And then I turned 18 in 2010. So it's just like still didn't buy anything. I actually didn't buy my first firearm until I was 21. And the
Wow.
first firearm I bought was it was a Glock 27 Gen 4, which is in 40 Smith and Wesson. And in particular, I got a good deal on it. So at the time, that was like 2013. 2013 was like, for Gen 4, that was like the first year it was out. And I bought it off
Yeah.
a retired Philadelphia police officer. So I spent $450 on it. And I got it. It was basically carried. It still had like the copper grease or that copper residue grease, whatever. So it wasn't fired. It was just carried. And I got it. I was like, yeah,
I got
So,
my
and then at the time when I got it in, I think I got it. I purchased it in March, and no, not true. I purchased it in May after I got my license to carry firearms. I applied actually. So Pennsylvania, what they call their permit, is a license to carry firearms. Basically, what it means is it's a license to carry firearms about your person or in a vehicle loaded. So
okay.
we are open carry state, but Philadelphia, which is the city I live in, because it's a city of the first class, it has its own little special rules within the state code and all that. Long story short, I got my first handgun in in May, and got my first holster and started carrying in June, and that ever since. But as far as education and stuff like that, that came, of course, later.
Okay.
I wasn't reckless or anything like that, but it's kind of like it's like
Like
a
no one really
journey.
teaches you. Yeah, no one really teaches you how to
Yeah,
conceal carry. It's one of the things you just got to learn by doing.
it's a journey, and funny enough, it's interesting. Like what you get into initially can kind of fast track your journey a little bit.
Yeah.
Like some things, like for example, like one of the things that fast tracked me. So again, I had my first holster. I knew I wanted Kydex, and within Kydex is kind of like that tactical community. So within that, you run into certain people that typically run Kydex, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's a certain type of people that run leather, you know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
that
Yeah.
kind of like, it's interesting how that kind of dynamic happens. And you can shut me up anytime, yeah, because I know I'm talking like a long ass
No,
time.
no, you good. You good. That's how it always
So
is. You got leather, Kydex,
yeah,
metal versus polymer,
yeah,
striker fire versus hammer fire. Yeah,
you
it's
have a
all that.
certain
All
like
that.
community. It's really
Exactly.
interesting.
9
So
versus 45.
right, and but I guess I'll get to that point. Jump in anytime, man, because I'll
All right.
probably. But yeah. So for me, my first holster was some eBay from Cook Holsters. That was the first company
All
that
right.
I bought a holster from. I don't know where they are, but they were on eBay in 2013 selling Kydex for a 26, a 27, and a 33. So I said, you know what,
You're good to
I
go.
gotta buy it.
Exactly. Good to go.
So I bought it. Had at the time, like I didn't I knew that you needed to buy a belt. So the first belt I bought was a Black Hulk. Uh, it looks like carbon fiber. One of their belts that's like
Okay.
it looks like a carbon fiber, but it's not. It's like it's kind of reinforced. It's an inch and a quarter, something like that. But it's kind of like it's not the best, but it's a start.
Yeah, it's good enough to get the job done.
you know, and
You're better than me. You at least had a belt. I had like a church belt where my belt would just loop
And
down like a
yeah,
V.
it'll start to.
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess So I got that belt. I mean, before that, I did the same thing. I guess I did I did a leather, like a belt with like two of the notches or whatever. And
Okay.
since the gun was relatively light, it's like, you could run it. And then
You like leather
my
belts?
next brand name holster was a Filster Access. So that's appendix because all the cool guys in 2013 were appendix
And
carrying.
opinion is the way to go. That is the best way, in my opinion.
So I definitely like, and following Filster and kind of like that community, you kind of the science behind shooting. You start running into that. I ran through Filster into Jeff Bloomvin. Like he's a part of that the group. I don't know if you heard of the YouTube channel Practically Tactical
Yeah, I've
these
heard of them.
days. Yeah, Practically Tactical. Like Jeff Bloomvan is from Philly,
Okay.
and I followed like his like YouTube channel Arm Dynamics, and then that moved into like James Yeager. That's how I ran into James Yeager because Jeff Bloomvan and James Yeager did a video. It's just weird, and then like you start running in the channel, a whole bunch of channels. It's like proliferation from there. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. How do you like James Yeager's channel? Like I've heard mixed reviews about
I've
him. I've
met
heard
him.
mixed reviews about Yankee Marshall.
So I've done a chat with Yankee Marshall, a couple of chats with Yankee Marshall, and never enough ammo. I did that, but that's like years ago, man. That's like 2014. But James Yeager, so I'll explain the story. So there was a contest with Tactical Response called Way of the Warrior,
Mm-hmm.
and basically it was like an open contest to all YouTube people if you wanted to you know if you wanted to sign up and deal, jump through the hoops to go through it. So it was a contractor class. You win a rifle and all that stuff. So I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna enter." So long story short, I jumped through the hoops, made it to the first stage. I said, "God damn." Okay. All right. So the next, got some more instruction. I did the next part. Did like another video or something like that. Made it again. God damn. And then the third round, I didn't win, but I got to take a free course in Tennessee, which I took fighting pistol down there.
Okay.
And that's how I got into. I was telling you about the earlier, I think in the earlier chat, I was telling you I carried two firearms, a primary and a secondary. So yeah, my instructors were Jordan Winkler and Calvin Lim. I don't know if you know Jordan Winkler and Calvin Lim. They both have YouTube channels. Well, I don't know if Calvin's still teaching that tactical response, but I'm sure he's still cool with everybody. And funny enough, yeah, I mean, I got to take a free course, fighting pistol. I of course, had to pay my way down there and stuff.
I'm not going to complain about that.
Yeah, and the curriculum is, in my opinion, sound. Some people have complaints about it being unsafe, or some unsavory stuff. I didn't have, in my experience, my class, I didn't have that. Both the instructors, both Winkler and Lim, shoot way better than I do, and the court, nobody got shot, and that didn't need to be,
Yeah, shooting in general.
When I say that, I'm talking about the paper target, but But generally speaking, it was great. Got to meet James Yeager and Hoss USMC, and it was cool. Everybody was cool. I mean, I stayed in the team room. Camaraderie, meeting other folks. It was good. I had a good time. As far as the personality, as far as like he was cool. When I say like I'm not saying that like as like you meet the celebrity. That's part of it, like the YouTube star. But as far as like you seem like a good guy, I can't say
nothing about
I don't
really
it's kind of like a 5-minute, 6-minute meet chat. It's not like can't really assess. But
Definitely.
I have no I thanked them for allowing me to take the course and you know, stay in the team room and all that stuff. That was really cool. Um, I'm sure I probably if we went down the list, I probably wouldn't agree with him on everything, but I don't, you know, I don't think that's with everybody. I don't agree with everybody. I don't even agree with me with everything. So, you know,
Yeah.
so it is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
it's going
Yeah.
on five.
Yeah. I wanted to know, like you were saying, you carry two guns. You know, me with I carry a Taurus PT-111 9 mil.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll carry a backup mag. So when you were saying like you carry two guns, I was like, this one gun is kind of just enough with a spare mag. And
So
it's like,
it's not really so me. It's not that I feel like one gun isn't enough. I have no problem carrying one gun with the magazine in it. All right.
mm,
The reason why I carry more and the reason why I carry the second gun primarily is the philosophy that makes most sense to me is to arm somebody else. So, for
okay,
example, I live me and my girlfriend. We live together. We're always, you know, out and about and stuff like that. If there was a situation
yeah,
and
okay.
you know, not saying that we would get separated or anything like that. Like, you know, I'm one of those guys that would walk out into the mall and take that guy down. If you know he's all the way at the other end, my thing is to get us out. You know what I'm saying? But
Okay.
if it was a situation of you know where
Like you can't,
maybe
he's not
there's
down
a
there, he's like right
situation
here.
where I could choose my fight, you know what I'm saying? Well, I can give
Yeah,
her a gun and I can keep my gun, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm carrying a gun for somebody else. Or if there's somebody else who's competent, say if I'm with a friend of mine, you know, who doesn't carry but is into firearms, well, I can give them a gun, you know what I'm saying? So it's one of those kind of types of things. It's usually to arm somebody else, not because uh, you know, I feel like I'm gonna, you know, go through,
yeah. You're like,
you
he's
know,
gonna just double gun, just throw it down, pick another
yeah.
one like a pirate.
That's the other idea. So I also I know this sounds my rig is so I also carry for my primary I carry two spare mags. So
Okay,
I'll stand up in a second and show you how I run everything. But with my primary, it's I carry a Heckler and Koch P30. All right, so it's a hammer fired, you know, double action, single action.
okay.
Um, you know, I have nothing against striker fired guns. I like striker fired guns. I've owned
It's not for
striker fired
appendix.
guns.
I just don't trust
It's
the appendix.
it's well, I mean, I carried. I've done it. I the only so I'll get into that story later about how I got into the P30. But generally speaking, the way that I have it set up now is that one of the other benefits of appendix that I like versus inside the waistband 3:30, 4 o'clock if you do that, is that I can draw with both hands. That's another advantage, and especially if you're driving a vehicle, it's a lot easier to get to a gun that's in front of you than it is to get a gun that's on the
Like
side
behind
of you.
you, on your side, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You got to take the seatbelt off, all that shit that comes with it. You know, it's if you can, you know, if it's opportune. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it probably won't be opportune if you need to fucking draw it. But yeah, like that is kind of. So you know what? Let me stop talking. So let me keep this on so you can hear me, or I can hear you. So uh, this is me. All right. I'm gonna fix my shirt. All right. So on the side, a little bit. You can see a little bit. It's not crazy. You see a little bit there on the front. It's just I just look a little tubby, and I am a little tubby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's not as, like something that somebody's instantly gonna know that
Yeah,
hey,
you
he's
know,
got a gun.
and maybe the shirt. Somebody will say, "Well, it's because of your shirt." And it's probably so. Probably is because of my shirt. You know, whatever. But yeah, you know, so I look a little tubby, generally speaking, but up front. So this is how I run everything. So on my right, all right. So this is you know my primary. My secondary is up front, and then off to the left, I have 2 spare mags. All right.
Okay.
So that's typically every day. That's how I run. But if I'm in a non-permissive environment, then I run something that's inside the waist, or not inside the waistband, inside a book bag, and that's how I run that. So,
Okay.
but my favorite way to carry a gun, I'm going to tell you, and it's how I started out originally. I told you that Cook holster is outside the waistband, 3 o'clock. So comfortable, so comfortable. You can carry anything you want. That's, to me, that's my favorite way to carry. But if
How does it
you're,
do when like you're driving? Because I feel like
as far
at
as
3
driving, it's
o'clock.
fine. It's fine
Really?
actually.
Because I feel like if
But
you're in the way, like with the seatbelt, especially over there, like if you try to draw, you'll get in the way.
for me, at least for my body, I mean, like I'm even doing it right now, with or if I can switch holsters if I don't have the other chair. I can show you like an example of sitting in the chair, and I could like move the screen. And long story short, it's fine. Like right now,
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
sitting in the
I'll take your
chair.
word for it. Yeah, I'll take your
I'm
word
sitting
for
in
it.
the chair, and you can see like for me how it rides in, so it just
Okay.
moves forward. So if I'm sitting in a car chair or whatever, it's fine. It just moves
Okay.
forward. It's not that bad. I will tell you, it's easier to. So I also carry on my primary. I carry a weapon light, so uh, it's. I've carried that appendix, and it's fine for my anatomy. It may not be for everybody. And it also depends on your rig and shit like that.
Like how
But
big is the light? Is it like one of those Surefire like X300s that be
yep,
like really?
I'm dead serious.
I don't know how people conceal that, man. That thing is
So
just huge.
so this is carried in a Filster. Shit, I'm killing the light. So this is a Filster Access.
Mhm.
I have on the back of it, you can't see it, but here there's like some suede material. So it takes out all the hot spots when you're carrying appendix. If you carry appendix long enough,
Yeah, you
you
sweat all
start.
over it.
Every holster is a little bit different. I haven't run into a holster where it hasn't had a hot spot that you could, kind of warm up a little bit with like a uh, a little suede.
Okay.
All right, so this is basically my holster. So the holster that's for the shield is a Filster Access, or skeleton rather, Filster skeleton, and it has like I'm trying out their new Super Tuck thing. I'll show you that again in a second. This holster is a armadillo concealment. I'm gonna turn on another light so you guys can see this shit. Ugh. Does that help?
Yeah, that's better.
Better? All right. So this one is an armadillo concealment. All these guns are loaded, but they're in a controlled environment and shit, so everything's fine. So basically, it's a universal for the A and B, depending on which one you have, and then it has it's universal, so you can run any holster. I mean, any gun that you want to run in this holster, as long to a degree. Yeah, it runs off the light, which is the beautiful thing. It's called the Tuck or something like that. But then I have a Surefire B on it. I think the A looks better, but the B had at the time more lumens, so I've been running that ever since. As far as sights are concerned, I'm running a 10.8 Performance rear sight, which is like a U rear sight, and then the front sight is just the normal. What is it? The Luma something, whatever. It's not the night sight. It's the luminescent sights or whatever.
Okay, one that like you shine on light on and light on.
Exactly. I don't necessarily need to switch to a tritium because I have a light on it, and that's more important identifying than night sights and shit like that. Nothing wrong with night sights. Don't get me wrong. Nothing wrong with night sights. Don't,
I need a light. I don't know if they really like all the lights I've seen for the Taurus just don't look right. It's like it was not really made for the Taurus.
So one of the things. So one of the things with this is, as you can see, with the light here, it gives you standoff. That's one of the benefits. So if you were to put this up against a barrier of some kind, or even if it was a case of up against a threat, you know, the problem with when you push a semi-automatic gun versus a revolver into something, it has the chance of coming out of battery. So the idea is that in a way the light gives you that distance to make sure it's able to discharge.
You can't push in on it. Okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So that's one of the advantages. So as far as the filster, and let me see if I can again show you. See that suede shit there?
Yeah.
It looks ugly, but trust me, it's a lifesaver. So with this particular, this gun is the newest gun. I've had this since, you remember I don't know if you were on Palmetto State Armory, about May.
Yeah, when they were selling it like hella cheap.
Yes, fucking cheap. I got this for like $219 after the rebate.
I should have done that.
$307 to get it shipped, and then a $75 rebate off of that. So this is completely stock. When I originally got it, it did not run. And when I say it did not run, meaning it locked up. And I had a buddy of mine. I was a guest at his range, and it locked up twice. And I was like, do I send this back or do I just keep running it? So since it's a secondary gun at the time, I carried it, and you know, it eventually seems to have worked itself out. But as far as the issue of being able to reproduce it, I haven't. So, but it's stock sight, stock trigger. I hate that fucking trigger. Excuse my language. I do not like that. Do not like the broken. It's not that it isn't shootable. Don't get me wrong. It's just I do not like the face of the trigger to break.
It could be better.
Yeah.
But even with the 2.0, the 2.0 is like,
I haven't touched it.
It's still that hinge trigger. I just don't think it's gonna work.
I'm like, why can't? So that may get an Apex. I don't know. We'll see. But I haven't made the conscious effort to invest in getting one. And me, I'm not too hands on.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's not my primary. This is for him.
Yeah, yeah. But it seems that as far as both of what I use for practice ammunition, if I can, and I do try to stock it, it's Winchester NATO 124 grain. It's basically the military ammunition that you've been shooting. Okay. The military, that ball ammo. It's a little bit, it's like to NATO standard 124.
Okay.
So that's typically, and the other reason I stock it is because it has like, it's good for like long-term storage because it has like a sealed primer and all that shit, like military, just, it's good stuff, I guess. People say it's dirty. I don't care that it runs,
Exactly.
Generally speaking, I ran it through, when I took that fighting pistol class, that's the ammunition I ran, and I had no issues with it, so.
What do you carry? Like, I got the Tello G2 Research Tellos 92 grain plus P. It's like controlled fracturing, where it like breaks off into 3 parts, with the base plate continuing forward. You got like that effect. I thought it was pretty
solid
cool.
Copper, I have nothing against solid copper actually. So in the shield, I have all 124 grain HST. Right. So in the loaded in the P30, I have Spear Gold Dot 124. Okay. In the first mag, I know it's dorky, but I still have 124 grain Spear Gold Dot. All right, that's the first mag. The second mag, and this is why I do this, I don't know, but I just do. In this mag, I'm running Are you familiar with Corban DPX? That type is similar to what you're running, but a little bit heavier. So this is a version of it. Have you ever heard of Black Hills?
Yeah, Black Hills.
So this is basically Black Hills' version of like that running that same Barnes bullet, that same Barnes bullet, but with a Black Hills loading. There's
Okay.
so Barnes has their own TAC XP, whatever they call it, which is their shit, but it's apparently a little slow. This is a little faster, and then Corban DPX is supposed to be a little bit faster than that, but I don't know what's going on with them since I haven't been able to like buy any of their 115. It seems out of stock everywhere. So
yeah, if it's not at Walmart, then I guess it's not for me.
Dude, I order everything online. I have I tell you, man, there is no better selection than being online. I can stay in my house. I don't have to do nothing, man.
Like, I'll buy gun parts online, but when it comes to ammo, for some reason
Really?
I don't like to buy ammo online. Like, I don't like to wait to buy ammo. Like,
oh,
gun
that's
parts,
no,
I'll
that's
wait.
yeah, you got me there.
Okay.
But
It's like, but ammo, I'll just go to Walmart and do it.
All day long, I stockpiled just law enforcement boxes of this stuff. So this is you can't see that. My camera's shitty. I want to apologize to everybody about that.
No, you're good.
But so these are my current. So like I rotate things out every 6 months. So I'm gonna be due in a few days to do everything. So I do my batteries, everything once a year, if I don't kill them. But so far it's worked out once a year. So I'll get everything out, take all the carry ammunition, take it to some people save it. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. But I shoot it, get it out, and then I just keep replenishing that. So yeah, I buy online because I don't like. My main problem is it's typically like when you go to like Cabela's or your gun shop or whatever the case is, they normally have what are known as, in my opinion, as the commercial size boxes. So like who's famous for that is Hornady. Hornady sells those 20, 25 round boxes.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. And then they charge you $20, $25. I get the same damn box of HST, 50 rounds for $20. You know what I'm saying? Law enforcement box. It's like, I can't get on board with that.
How much, is that with shipping too? Because I might be interested.
So one place I'd tell you to follow for deals is Mr. Guns and Gear. I follow him. Yeah, a lot of deals. But before I found out about him, I know. Well, the first portion of that is Mass Ammo is who's selling it for $20, I think, or $18.99, something like that for a 50 round box of HSTs. The other side of it is before that, I was buying from Ammunition Depot. I was buying from SG Ammo. I was also buying from Target Sport. I still buy from these places, Target Sports Outdoors or something like that, or I think Target Sports Outdoors USA. I used to buy from JG Sales, but like their selection has gotten worse in my opinion. But generally speaking, I stick with what I stockpile deep is typically HSTs 124 to 147. I have some 115. Typically, most of my stuff is standard pressure, but I do buy a few. If it's on sale, I'll buy a plus whatever, plus P. Nothing like plus P plus, but just plus P. Yeah. As far as gold dot, same thing. 124 is typically what I go for. I have up to 147, and I have some 115 from Palmetto State I think a year ago. They had like a sale of like their 115. They were running really heavily of all Spear gold dot stuff. So that's what I run in my rifles, Spear gold dot. 64 grain, 55 and 64 grain are what I have mostly.
Mostly American Eagle for me. That just seems
American Eagle right now, as far as like federal is concerned, shit. Sales are insane, but they're laying off people too, from what I heard. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. It's just because like I only bought the American Eagle because I can go to my local gun store and get like a 150 round box for like $40.
That's wicked. That's wicked. Yeah.
Exactly.
Uh,
It's just
I
like when I go online, it's like when I go online, my philosophy is like if it's under 200 rounds, then I'll just go to the store. But if it's like over 200 rounds, like if I'm buying a 1,000 round box, then I'll go online. I don't know. I
yeah.
feel like I get a better deal for my money when I'm buying in bulk online.
I typically buy in bulk, and in my experience, for me, it's the selection of what I specifically want, because I guess I'm picky, and I want I want a law enforcement quantity size box, so that's 50 rounds. I want to pay the least amount of money,
Yeah.
and and if I go to the gun store, I understand a brick and mortar shop. You have costs, you have employees, lights, bills, all that shit, stuff like that, and your price reflects what you can move. You know what I'm saying? But generally speaking, I can't beat the selection online, so that's why I order most of my shit from online.
I guess it comes down to if you don't care, like you're willing to wait. I guess online, but I don't know. Me, I'm like instant gratification. Like
Depending, like, so try Target Sports. They use FedEx. They ship pretty quickly, and I usually receive it like no more than 2 days. Usually 1-2 days. Target Sports out or let me I'll throw that link up onto. Give me one sec. Target Sports USA. Target Sports USA is the website.
okay.
Yeah, I like them. They use FedEx, and they're in Connecticut. I'm in Pennsylvania, so it's about a day or two, and they're pretty kick ass as far as the. I haven't used like Lucky Gunner or any of those. Not saying there's anything wrong with them, but it's just
I'll go
something.
to Lucky Gunner for research. Like I like how they do the ballistic
Yeah, they
chart
do
of what
the
rounds, how deep it goes. I'll look
yeah
at
the
that.
gel testing. Yeah, that is really an invaluable resource. I mean, for in context, it's an invaluable resource.
It just kind of give you like a baseline of okay, this one seems to work a lot better than this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Hmm.
then I guess that's how you kind of become a gun owner. You start to look at what is good, what works for me, what don't. You know.
I mean, again, run whatever you want to run.
Exactly.
That it's like it's I play guitar. You know what I'm saying? Like if you know it's run whatever you want. Just because you play say a Fender versus somebody who plays a Gibson doesn't necessarily mean much.
Exactly. It doesn't mean
Within
I'm better than you. It just means
it's
that's
a
something.
brand, but the question is what do you bring to the table? You know what I'm saying? And in that context, same thing here. You know what I'm saying? If your high point is capable of though I would say unlikely if it if it runs through a course that is 1,000 rounds, hey, maybe that's a data point that for you should take into
Yeah,
consideration. But
maybe they were right that day. They made that.
that's what that brings to the table. But for me, I if I have a different option, well, I'll choose it. So but
Yeah, maybe in another video we can talk about that because I know a lot of people clown me for this. I want to talk about like the price of guns and like when it comes to concealability, like what is a good price, what is too low, what is too high, what's a good price. A lot of people they're like, "Oh, this is cheap. It's $200. It's not gonna work." But this thing has worked flawlessly, and people still get on me for carrying it. I'm like, it works.
this
It works.
same thing you get made fun of for. So I'll tell you, I'm not ashamed. The only reason I got into my P30 is not because like it's an HK, blah, blah. I got into it because in 2014 December, HK had a rebate. They said basically off of everything except the VP9, we'll take $200 off. So
That's a
I got into basically a P30 for what it would cost for a gun dealer that doesn't move a lot of Glocks. So you know what I'm saying? Like it's all based off volume. So like say like a $600 Glock, I spent $50 more. So $650 I got into to basically a brand new P30. As far as like uh, it being a better gun than a Glock, I think it's a better made gun. But I
Yeah.
mean materials and stuff, and
But as far as
that type of thing.
functionality, okay.
That type of thing. But do I think it's more reliable? I think it's just as reliable. I mean, in my experience, it's
Exactly.
been
It's
I don't.
hard. It's hard to judge
It's
what
subject.
is
Yeah, it's
reliable. Yeah.
within my my limited experience. My little box. It has been reliable. So
Exactly. That's what I say about this thing is I'm gonna keep carrying it. If it fails me,
and
I'm gonna keep carrying
and nobody can take that away from you.
it. Mm-hmm.
So like I mean I say run what you want, but I will say there are some. It gets to, there are degrees of certain things, like certain things like you know um, if you are choosing to if like you choose what works for you and you feel comfortable defending your life, but sometimes people choose things that are quite dangerous, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, or they don't fully understand
Yeah,
you
like
know
my cousin down in West Palm, she went and got a Jimenez, and
okay, the
she was
small
loading
little
around.
380.
Yeah, and she was loading around the magazine, and the spring broke, and the rounds just fell in the magazine.
Ooh,
And she's like, "Why is this happening?" I was like, "Because you got the really one of the cheapest guns you can literally get with the
mm,
Jimenez." And she's like, "Oh, I was looking at the Taurus like this,
mm,
and it was just funny because like the Jimenez, that's what like a $50-$60 difference, if that."
mm.
But like that $50-$60 really means a lot when you start shooting and it gets the reliability and how it functions and simply loading the rounds in the magazine and the spring being strong enough to retain all those rounds and not break.
Yeah, I would say like I tell people like if you're interested ever in owning a firearm, just ask. I
Yeah.
mean and generally speaking, or ask somebody. I mean, not always the case, but if you're talking to somebody at a gun shop, um, generally they also have a little bit in the skin in the game as far as like they don't want you to come back as an unhappy customer or talk shit about their business because if
They're
that's
just
what
making
you
money to
want,
make. Yeah.
somebody at least usually somebody who's decent will like, okay, I'll sell it to you. But for me personally, I would say I would put in a little asterisk. You do understand that this is probably something that is barely for hobby use. I try to say like go for whatever is as you know has a following that's kind of like like kind of professional grade a little bit. It's kind of
Mhm.
like some things are like student grade, like it's like instruments. Some things are like student grade, and some things are like professional. And then like within that, some things are just like really high value. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's nothing wrong with them other than like quote unquote their name. You know what I'm saying? You probably know this. Like as far as like Taurus is concerned, some of their stuff, as far as their, I don't know, I guess the revolvers, from what I've heard, revolvers and some of their other semi-automatics, um, it's on a case by case basis. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So like you may
Especially
have
since
your sample of one may be a really good day, but just like with any other manufacturer, even the best manufacturers, some stuff gets slips through the cracks. So on a
yeah,
case by case
even
basis.
Glocks fail. Yeah, even Glocks fail.
Yeah,
So
you know, but you know, but there's also like the general track record. Who's like
mhm.
are you Keltec? Are you a Keltec person?
uh
I'm not.
no, not
I'll tell
really.
you. Yeah, I'm not a Keltec person. I mean, not saying that there aren't on a case by case guns that run, but there's
Yeah,
the question
that's
is
like
how hard are they ran? But
yeah.
there's some stuff that's hobby grade. I don't know anybody running a Keltec as a duty gun. I know in Brazil
Right.
people are running Taurus. Cops are running Taurus as a duty gun. So that's what I'm saying. Like professional, like typically who's most, likely to run it?
For the Taurus?
No, I'm
Yeah.
saying like as far as look at that's to me
Okay, yeah,
a
he's using the firearm.
standard as far as like is it professional in a degree? You know, does it hold? I don't really know anybody running Caltech. Not saying there probably isn't somebody out there doing it as a professional, like but I don't
And
know.
maybe like Jerry Mikulich, he was carrying. Then okay, him, yeah.
He's
You can fire three
a
mags
hell
in
of a
like 4
shooter.
seconds.
Hell of a shooter, man. Hell of a
Yeah, I
shooter.
saw. You see the video where he hit like a target at 1,000 yards under like 2 seconds with a Barrett 50 cal. Crazy.
I can't. I can't.
Like who does
Can't.
that? Like who does
Can't even.
that?
I can't even. Can't even, man. Can't
Exactly.
even. Yeah. But so yeah. I mean, if you want to go into, I know I've been talking, so whatever you want to talk about, man. Where we? I know we said we're going to do an hour. What do you want to do? We can do. I'm free. I'm.
Yeah, we still got time. I guess make it a little quicker. I wanna ask. Let me get this. Do you build rifles?
Dude, I'm not very handy. I put things
Like,
together. When I say put things
okay.
together, I mean made a
Okay, we'll talk
lower
about
and an
this.
upper.
All right, home defense. When it comes to home defense, do you prefer rifles or
Rifles.
shotguns? Rifles. All
Rifles.
right. Why's that?
For me, uh, I feel like really in my situation, I feel like a handgun is optimal, but I sleep next to a rifle every night. So for me,
Yeah, I got two.
oh yeah, hey,
I, I I
my
built
feeling.
both of these, man. I built both of these. These are my this is my pride and joy right here.
Yeah, I love rifles. I think in the context of where I live, I feel more comfortable. If I had to switch to a rifle, I feel more comfortable using it as far as like the over penetration based off what I'm running for ammunition and everything. So it. Don't get me wrong. I think that a I think a long gun of any kind has a high probability of exiting, but I feel in comparison to a shotgun in this context, I feel rifle is better.
Okay.
And the other thing is, with Leah and stuff like that, being able to run a rifle versus running a shotgun, as far as trying to to control that. I mean, even if it was like a 20 gauge, you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
still more than a rifle. An AR-15 is pretty. I
It's,
guess
it's
low
versatile.
recoiling, pretty
Yeah, it's low
controllable.
recoiling. You got 30 rounds.
You
You
know,
can put a light. So
right?
yeah, exactly.
Uh, Hold on one second. I'm gonna lose you because I got to take this off real quick. I'll be right back.
I don't know how can you see who's viewing? How many people are actually watching?
So I want you to know. I just noticed we got one viewer. Whoever you are, thank you for joining us. Thank you. I don't know who you are, but you're
Whoever you are, thank
special.
you.
You're special.
You're the
Love
real
you.
MVP.
Yeah, man. So yeah. So as far as rifles are concerned, um, this is not my first rifle. Got some stories with this thing. I will tell you, I know a little. I know enough about rifles as far as like the AR platform
Mhm.
to kind of know what's going on. As far as shooting rifles, living in the city, I don't shoot rifle as much as I wish I could. Generally speaking, within an indoor range, your little port,
Yeah.
it's
Hey,
you don't
come
really.
support it, man.
So I got to take a class. So for me, the closest as far as like, you know, ranges where you can really get the move and stuff like that, that's going to be probably
Right, that's
taking a
probably hard for
course.
you.
Yeah, it's not. It's just not. That's one of the what they don't tell you about having a rifle. So this is my rifle. Uh, it's a it's a Daniel Defense. Yes, it is loaded. For those that one viewer, if you're asking, yes, it is loaded. Okay,
Oh
but
my
it's a
God!
controlled
Oh my
environment.
God! It's loaded. Oh my God!
It's a controlled environment, and but so as far as you know, again, my setup at home, this is not primary. This is not, like there was a bump in the night and I had to wake up and defend the bedroom. It's going to be a handgun. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So most likely, if it's a situation of where our space isn't huge, but if I'm we're barricading in the bedroom, then then it's very likely this is coming out. You
You
know,
might need that firepower.
or if it's like a situation of say uh, uh, power outage, uh, end of the world as we know it type of thing. This is definitely not something that is coming outside. It's one of those situations of because in my opinion, I feel like if you bring a rifle outside, somebody wants that rifle. You know what I'm saying? You become a target. You know what I'm saying? Rifles only come out, in my opinion, for certain contexts. If something were to happen like that, I'd be running my EDC. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Very low key. I don't want to look like like that guy. I guess unless it's a situation of where we're defending the neighborhood or something like that. But I don't know. But yeah, tell me more about your rifle, and then I'll go through mine, or
Yeah,
vice
this is
versa,
my
whichever way you want to go.
this is my actually my pistol.
Yeah.
So, 10.5-inch quad rail upper from Mass Defense.
Make it.
Yeah, a standard Anderson lower I got from a local gun store, and I got the SBM4 brace. I don't have a scope, a red dot, because I was trying to take this one off, and I stripped the screw, so that one's kind of stuck on there. But really, I would take this is my primary weapon because I don't have a light on here, so at night I can't really see. So this one has a flashlight, and then like you're in the city, where I'm more rural. So if I come out my front door, there's I got like a 30-40 yard open area to the wood line.
Rifle.
Exactly.
It makes perfect sense.
Exactly. And to my right, I got like 100 yards down the street, about like 50 yards down this way. I come out my backyard, there's 50 yards to the wood line. So there's a lot of distance to where shotgun may not be able to cover that, or it might not be safe enough.
Yeah.
So I take my rifle, and again, people like over penetration. Any kind of round that's good enough to stop a person has the potential to over penetrate.
Yeah, it's. I will say that I'm more comfortable like with a 55 grain to 75 grain or 70 75 79 whatever you want to 77 excuse me 77 grain whatever than I am with about especially if you're running buckshot, because that's what I believe, or
6 to 8
9 pellets 30 whatever caliber. I just
like those 380s coming out.
Yeah, it's that to me is a little more or a little less control than I want to have. You know what I'm saying? And then it gets into like, I think you got to do with every shotgun you got a pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's with ammunition dependent. It's like, nah, I just run a rifle. It's zeroed. Or this one isn't completely zeroed yet, but the irons are, and I'll show you that. But it's good within my distance. My place isn't like a straight line. You have to go around corners to get to stuff. So generally speaking, I can do it with a handgun.
Yeah, probably a handgun's a lot better because even with this shotgun, it's long. I think it's got like an 18-inch barrel. So like I'll even practice at the house. I'm bumping on doors and trying to bring it up, and I'm knocking on stuff. And That's why I was like, okay,
I
that's
got
what
a
I got.
20-inch behind me.
Oh,
I
you
have a
skeet
20.
shooting?
No, I'm talking about a 20-inch AR. So I
Okay,
know
was
about
that
all guns, man.
exactly? Like, let him get out there a little bit. I want to try this out.
Yeah, it's so like even with this, I mean, I had at one point I had a Palmetto State Armory 10.5 and a Palmetto State Armory lower upper, and that's what I'm talking about.
Right,
My
right
handing,
here,
you know, my
16
work is
Palmetto.
I mate uppers and lowers. That's all I do. I don't do
Yep.
any. I don't fix barrels or anything like that. I should learn, but I get I'm
I don't mess with
paranoid.
the uppers. I don't mess with the gas ports and all that.
Yeah,
I don't.
I
For the
don't.
lowers,
I don't.
I will do lowers. I'll do lowers. Those are
Yeah,
easy.
I don't. I don't fuck with that.
Yeah, I
That's a
need
little
like
too
a
much
nice
for me.
block.
But
Yeah.
I generally, you know, again, in my experience, I've done that. I currently have I'm eventually going to make a night gun. When I say night gun, I mean like, you know, like the whole night vision and
Okay. Could you like a
as
D-ball
far
or
as
something?
optics. I'm gonna eventually. That's years down the line though. But this is my rifle. It's a Daniel Defense DD-M4 V3. As you can see, I like the front A2 post as well.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of that. Not everybody likes it. They call it old school.
it does serve purposes.
It's a good reference for me. I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
it's a great reference. This is new, so this is a Aimpoint Comp M4. So to explain how I got this, I didn't spend retail anywhere near retail. It's a weird story. So you're familiar with Amazon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You know. So Amazon had you know, I'm subscribed to like what's it, CamelCamel.com. You ever heard of Camel? Like if something that you really like goes below a certain price point, you get an alert.
Oh wow.
So I got an alert because like on Amazon I have like all the aim points, everything from alerted. So I happened to go on and you know, check my email and I got alerted about a used Comp M4. I said, okay. So I went on there, picked it up, and I thought I was getting the version that had the battery on the bottom, which is the M4S. Turns out what I received was an M4, which has the battery portion on the top. So I called in, complained, and I got like round up after everything was said and done, I got this for like $368, some shit like that. It was already like super cheap. It was like 400 and maybe I forget. I'll look it up what it was, but I lucked out and I got it. Problem was when I got it, it didn't have any screws for the base, so I had to buy some screws off eBay. That was a whole $3 for the
No.
Aimpoint screws, and then I got the mount. And basically, it's like for it is a pretty penny, like about $500. I have the entire setup. So,
Oh,
but
the
I still have
rifle
to
is
zero this. This is not zero, but the fixed sights, I like the idea. I got this idea. It's not my own. I got it from Vickers. I like that this is fixed. So it is in your way. It does cut your view, but this is at a 1/3. So this is the sights
right above.
are beneath where your line of sight is with the dot because this is raised a little bit and it works perfectly.
Yeah, because I run absolute. I don't know. I like putting my front dot, my front dot, my front dot on top of my front sight post, almost like a lowercase I. For me, that helps because like I got the dot and I got that line kind of. So when I come on target, it's like I don't know. I can't explain. It just helps me aim. So whereas like
it would suck with this.
Yeah, because I'm looking at replacing this with the Hollow Sun, the ACSS reticles.
They run.
Exactly.
The problem is for if I were to do an absolute with this, I'd be looking through this sight.
Yeah,
and that's the problem. So with a fixed, it's a little annoying. I'm sure somebody's done it and is out there doing it, but for me, I can't do it. So, and we, by the way, we lost that viewer. By the way, damn,
Oh, damn.
damn.
But I gotta ask you, because I ask people all the time that I'm still cheap minded. So when it comes to optics, like you got like the aim point like $300-$400. I'm like, man, for a red dot, you know,
I'll
I
show
have
you.
a Vortex. I have a Vortex Spark AR, and I pay like 130. And I'm
I'm gonna
like,
give you insights.
is that the difference? Like,
I'll give you a secret. Give me one second. I'm gonna switch rifles. So this is my favorite rifle to shoot. Her name is Big Girl.
big girl.
All right. I'm going to introduce you to Big Girl. So Big Girl is a FNH FN15. So a while back, so as you can see, she's a big girl.
Is that the 20 inch?
Yeah, it's a 20-inch rifle. So
Okay.
that means she's 40 inches long.
Damn, that's a big girl.
So your standard, like, 16-inch M4 Jury is about 32 inches with, like, if it has like the regular A2 stock or whatever the case is. So this is, that's fully collapsed. And then if you go into like your pistol sizes and stuff like that, you're usually from like 26 and above. So anyway, so yeah, this is Big Girl. So what I was going to tell you is this is an Aimpoint ACO. This is the sight from Aimpoint that gets no love, okay? But it is a great sight. I have found in my experience, and I've had this since 2015, I have not switched out the battery yet. It has stayed on. Yes, it has stayed on. They claim to have a battery life of 1 year, okay? But it's not 1 year in my experience. It's been longer than that. So they claim that the Pro is the one that you should step into because it has the, the caps on it. This can take caps if you want to put a cap on it. I mean, I don't know why you would, but it has, well, within the context of not storage, but if it's your main rifle, you don't want flip caps, in my opinion, on it. But the other thing about it is that the dog's walking around. The other thing about it is they claim that it doesn't have night vision, which it doesn't. But in the context of it, the night vision for these optics makes no sense to me anyway. Because if you're running nods, you would probably be running a laser of some type, some type of laser aiming device. So you don't really need it. So the things that I can tell you the best value is one, start with this. This, when I got it it was on sale at Brownells at the time. I got it for $304. All right. So it's a little bit more expensive than like the Vortex, Spark and all those and et cetera, the Hollow Sun. It's about $100 more. But as far as the potential reliable, everything has issues, but it's pretty good. As far as the mount's concerned, you wouldn't have to replace yours because you like absolute. I switched mine out, of course, because I was going for the 1/3. I have the Magpul Pro on the rear, and that lines up like that. But generally speaking, it's good to go. It's really good to go. And
what'd you get the 20 inch?
What'd you say?
Nostalgia. What'd you get the 20 inch? Is that just nostalgia?
Because I none of my friends had one, and I hadn't had any experience with a 20 inch because of that. So I said, "Fuck it, I'm going to buy one," and that's what I did. So I bought a 20 inch, and it's who gave me the idea was funny enough, another running through the channels, Reed Hendricks. I don't agree with everything with Reed Hendricks, but a lot of the stuff that he talks about as far as guns are concerned, I find to be really educational. He likes particularly the 20 inch because it's a good value behind it. The other thing is not too long ago, these were like the hidden secret as far as being the cheapest one, the cheaper routes of getting a reliable AR. since it has the longest gas, the gas system. So I said, okay, nobody has one. I haven't shot one, but everybody seems to say that they seem to run. Other than being heavy and huge, I'll get one. So I got it, and I have to say this is my favorite rifle to shoot. I shoot this rifle when I do shoot rifle more than I shoot the other one.
How you
So
like the spronging in the stock?
to me, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. I mean, it's like, I don't know if you can hear it. You probably can't hear it. It even does it like when it's but it doesn't bother me. To be
Yeah, because
honest
I
with
was
you.
like, first time when I shot in the Navy and I felt that sprong, and every time I shot, it was sprong, sprong.
Mhm.
I just think like, is this what the people in like Vietnam felt when they were shooting? Just a whole bunch of spronging while bullets are flying.
Yeah, it's that's just the normal sound of it cycling. I mean, it's it doesn't bother me. The other thing I did a test thing on that I really like is this Streamlight ProTac 1.
Mhm.
This runs off a double A. Now, reason why I went with the one at the comp is because I wanted an all double A rifle, so that the light on there is it's a Surefire, but it's specifically it's a double A Surefire, so that's what's cool. This also is a double A, so that has less lumens than actually this light, but this light's smaller, and it has a nice throw in it as well. So
Okay.
this is about, I think, 350 lumens, and I got it for like $95. It's the better value. This aim point here, better value than the Pro. If you're willing to forego the quote unquote battery life, which I don't think is true, and the night vision, which I think most people
Are
are
gonna use.
going to use it, and it's the context of it is so specific. It's not no, so it's dude, it's good, it's good. So look, try looking for an ACO. It's probably you'll find them for a really good deal, probably cheaper than what I paid, on sale. So, and I just told the entire world that secret, and Aimpoint's going to come and find me.
Exactly. You got to aim point.
Nobody talks about that site, and I'm telling you, I've not shut it off since I got it.
Well, it looks like that one viewer should have stayed.
Yeah, man. But the problem is this is gonna post. This is
Okay,
gonna
so
post
they'll
after we
eventually
finish.
find out.
Shit, I might got to delete this thing, man. I have to delete it. But
Just out.
as far as the other thing, everything always has a tape switch. So I have a tape switch. This is attached via the God, I forgot the name of them. Where you zip ties, and then I took like the nail files, and I filed down the end of the portion that inserts, so now it doesn't cut you every time you do that. And it also has an adhesive, so I don't trust the adhesive, so that's why I put the zip ties on there, and they have like the little portion. So I run that, and then I'll flip it over to the other side. The sling is a Blue Force gear. The original, I can't stand that A2 grip. So on both my rifles, they're BCM grips, and I also do the extended. If you want to talk about handy, I did do this one myself, and I will never do it again. The trigger guard, that is a bitch if you don't have the tools. And
not for me. I mean, I had fun. It was easy for me, but I don't know. I guess building for me is fun. I love building.
Miserable, miserable, dude. So bad I had to get the if you look, you can't see it, but the ear, I had to get that aluminum pin, which smells like ass, man. And I had to paint it because I was just like trying to hammer this thing out, and I just couldn't get it, dude. It's bad, man, real bad. But yeah, so this is this rifle, and I love it. I love it, man. I love it. Favorite rifle. It is a big girl, though. It is a big girl.
Hey, she's built the last of them.
Yeah, these are supposed to be, these are supposed to be the rifles that, people have run them in some shitty environments, and they continue to run. Out of all of them, like, It's just the length. My ideal rifle would be 18 inches, look just like this, be cut down to 18, still have the A2 front sight. As far as the handguard would be concerned, it'd be free floated, and then I'd run, whatever light that I chose. I'm considering on the next rifle that the stream light, but supposedly Surefire is going to be doing a 1500 lumen. So whoever has the most lumens,
Damn.
yeah,
Damn.
they're supposed to be doing 1500 versus the 1000 of Streamlight. So I don't know.
What are you trying to see with 1500 lumen? I guess everything, right?
Blinding power. That's
I'm trying to be the Lord of
that is. The idea is I don't want to fire around, unless I absolutely have to. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully I can stop you with the light. That's the first deterrent. Get the fuck out.
Exactly. Okay, I'm going. I'm going.
You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah. So that I guess the other rifle again has a the Surefire AA. It has a B5 grip stop on it, another Blue Force gear sling, and it's the BCM grip and the trigger guard, just like that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Lancer mags loaded with Spear Gold Dot. Both of them.
Yeah, I know you don't build, but hey, you should really look into getting a pistol.
I had a pistol, so yeah. Let me go back into that. So I had a PSA Cold Hammer Forge 10.5 upper, and I had a PSA just straight basic complete lower. And at the time, I didn't want to go through the hassle of taking the buffer tube off, so having to get I have the wrench and everything, so I bought it to prepare to do it, but I didn't want to go through it, so I wound up selling it. So what I have in alternate is I have a BCM lower that I have sitting in, and it basically that's eventually going to I'm still debating if I'm going to turn that into a rifle or if I'm going to sell it and then do just a Form 4 and just go the SBR route. Problem is with the NFA stuff, if I want to take a class, I'm limited to only, to really test it, you know what I'm saying? I can only do it within Pennsylvania. Fortunately, there's some competent schools in Pennsylvania and stuff like that, but it's just...
Yeah, that's why I went with the pistol. I could take it.
Yeah, you can take it everywhere.
I don't have to notify nobody. I ain't waiting no month or two for nothing.
Do you fly?
I have not flown with firearms.
Okay.
But
I've done it. Done it a couple times. I've done it a couple times, but only with handguns, no rifles. So that's been pretty painless. It's more so like it's more nerve-wracking trying to figure out how the airline differs from the federal guidelines, because every airline is different. I've flown American, United, Southwest. Southwest is pretty straightforward. Delta, those are like the major ones I've done. I haven't flown like the low budget stuff, but
Spirit.
Yeah, Spirit charge you $60 for a bag. I can't do that, man. Can't do that. No. Yeah. What else, man?
I guess that's good for today. I mean, I guess we ain't got to talk about everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we got to do this again. Hopefully we can get 2 viewers. If we can get 2, we'll be set.
Yeah, we'll ask around. I'll post out like, hey, who wants to join me and GunBuddiesSocial for a live chat? I'm
yeah,
sure
man.
Want to join.
And we can, try and do this again. And everybody, I mean, we'll probably reintroduce everything. I don't know. Should we keep this video up or should we delete it?
Okay, I mean, we made it. Yeah, we made it. Put it out there.
All right. Yeah, we'll leave it up.
Yeah, because a lot of the live streams don't be as clean or professional anyway. So.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe I can get like like an intro song or something. Something
Okay.
that's, I don't know, make it
Maybe down
more
the line,
official
yeah.
and some graphics or something and make a channel. Who
Exactly. Yeah.
knows? I can really,
Hey man, you really don't know. Like I'm at what almost like 1,400 subscribers in a year. It's
man,
crazy.
it,
It's crazy.
how many videos have you done though?
Like maybe 100 something.
See, that's a, well, I just got done school, so maybe I can do it. I'm doing a, I'm
That's
trying to,
actually not. That's not bad though. That's not bad to have a lot of videos because it's like
well,
two
no, that's
ways. Exactly, it's like two ways to really do this YouTube thing. It's like you do a one high budget video that's gonna bring in like 1 million views, or you do like 10 videos that'll do like 100,000, 100,000. But I like the lot of videos because like you type in, let's say Taurus PT-111, and you're gonna if you see like 10 of my videos out of like 20 videos, you're gonna be like, who's this guy? Now if you type in AR-15, you see my face, my face, my face, my face from all these videos. Even though I might have like a hell of a lot of videos. More people are gonna see my face and be like, all right, I keep seeing this guy, I keep seeing this guy. Let me check him out.
that's actually really,
There's almost like yeah,
that gets
exactly.
into
It's like
that search
it's
engine
like the Hickok
optimization.
45 method, yeah. Because that
Yeah,
man
that's,
has like over 1,000 videos. Him and Seuss Double O, like these, like they are so famous because they flood the market of videos. Every time you
yeah.
type in a gun, you see Hickok 45, Iraq veteran, military arms channel at Such. That's why those
Yeah.
guys are like the biggest ones.
I don't know if I have that much to say, man. Yeah, I don't know. We'll run the channel eventually, but for now, we can do the live chat, and then I'll
Okay.
eventually figure out
Hey
who I'm
man,
gonna be.
this is like how you say this is like the journey. You
Yeah,
join
man.
your little channel,
It is
meet this guy, meet that guy.
definitely that, dude. It's definitely
Exactly.
that, man. But
Like Coley on the War with your own show.
yeah, man. This channel is. I've I think I've been a subscriber since 2012, and this channel is like quadrupled. And of course, with the NRA, I won't get into that. We'll save that for
Yeah,
another conversation. We'll
join
save
NAGA.
yeah, I'm NAGA. I'm a member of NAGA.
Me
I'm a
too.
I'm a member of NAGA and I'm a member of GOA, Gun Owners America. But I'm an NRA instructor, but I'm not an NRA member. Yes, you can be an NRA instructor and not be a member. You know.
Hey, I don't blame you. I thought about going there to get my course because like some like I guess the NAGA one there's like a lot of steps you got to do because like
NAGA, you can become an instructor with NAGA.
yeah you can, but since it's so new, is they're really you got to do this and this and this because they don't want to put out like their first bunch of instructors and they're all garbage and trash. So
Yeah.
they want like the really good ones, really good, and then once they, I guess they get a name like the NRA, like it just anyone can come through.
I mean, I will tell you that I have some feelings towards the NRA, and when I say feelings, I don't think the majority of them are not necessarily positive.
Mm.
If you feel me. Um,
Yeah, I just get tired of the letters every week. They're trying to take our gun rights, send us money. It's like how
yeah,
much money do you need?
it's the main that's one of the main things that drive me nuts. Is like it's almost like in some ways it's um, I will say there are instructors that make up it are competent. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of their training is not necessarily NRA training. It's outside of the NRA. You know what I'm saying? And then
It's just
how the NRA became the NRA is it was the kind of like the first at the game. That doesn't necessarily mean it's the best. There's other ways to go about it. You know what I'm saying? You could take a bunch of training classes, right? And none of them be related to the NRA, and in some cases be just as competent, if not more competent than some of the stuff that's being taught within the NRA. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you know, I it's cool to have the certification. It allows you to get insurance and stuff like that, which is great. If you were going to be teaching like doing your own school, which I don't plan on doing.
Mhm.
You know, but it may be good just to have insurance, just to have it. But generally speaking, like other than that, I don't. I did 1 year. I did 1 year from June 2016 to June 2017. I was like, y'all didn't do shit.
Yeah, I had my 1 year. Like, I guess I bought
Nothing.
something. Going,
Nothing.
yeah.
I said I
I
will
got a
not renew.
bag. Let's see. I got a bag with things kind of
Yeah,
falling
I got
apart
the
now.
bag. Bag is made in China, of course. You
Yeah.
know, so it's like it. That's a cheap shot. I won't. But I'm just saying, like as far as like you know, as far as progress, I'm with the NRA when we talk about guns. Anything
Mhm.
beyond that is noise, and I can't get stay on topic, and that has been something that they failed to really make any move. This current HR 38 is and the Fix Nix bill that being merged and the NRA being associated with that pushing that, and then you have the bump
Is what
stocks
too
and
political?
crank fire mechanisms and all that stuff, and recommending that the AT, it's just like
Oh yeah, with the bump
no,
stock and all
no,
that. Yeah.
shh, quiet, quiet. It's a mess. And the other thing is like sometimes people get so brainwashed into thinking that like the NRA is the only organization fighting for your gun rights. Funny enough,
Exactly.
Yankee Marshall is doing this whole rant about it, which I generally agree. It's I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to talk shit about other people's money and how they do, but like the organization has some serious leadership problems, and
Yeah, it's definitely fallen off from where it
you
used to
know
be.
it is not um, it's not where it needs to be. And
Yeah, I
I'm
would say it would go back to the days where they would have like youth shooting programs, youth shooting competitions. They would go out and get people and take them to gun ranges and train them and show them
they
guns.
still have they
They
still
don't
have
do
that
that
Eddie
anymore.
Eagle or Eddie Eagle or whatever they call it. They still have it. I mean, it's just not everywhere. And with schools, typically that was where you used to find it. But yeah, they don't have it.
Yeah,
It's
it's like
not
it's
in.
just politics. It's just all talk, just
Yeah,
rah 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 rah.
yeah, it's
And I don't see any progress. That's why I was just like, why am I joining? You guys are constantly asking for my money, but I don't see anything happening.
the
It's
as
like,
far
why
as
am I
I
paying?
know, the legislative process, as we all know, is a slow one. But as far as like some of the opportunities that like I'm not a Republican. I'm actually believe it or not, I am a liberal.
Sorry,
And I've
Republican?
liberal tears. You know what I'm saying? They always make fun of us, but I
Yeah.
am a liberal gun owner, and I feel like with currently with a lot, as you were saying, a lot of talk with a Republican House, a Republican Senate, and a Republican asshat as president.
It's like
You
things should
know,
be able. You have everything you need. Things should be
you
moving
you have
streamlined.
people who have run their campaign saying that they believe in Second Amendment rights, and there has been no
Nothing.
pro-gun legislation. I mean, it's like you're worthless as far as I'm concerned. You're
It's like it's still
utterly
getting bad.
worthless.
It's like
You know,
what now? You can't even buy ammunition online in California no more.
hey,
It's
I,
like is California even part of the U.S.?
I,
Like, do you guys even want to be part of us anymore?
California is its own special little place, and I mean, I like visiting California, but to me, like, it just like I couldn't live here. I couldn't. I mean, it's just like I like Pennsylvania
Hey,
is
I
to
did 4 years
me.
out there, man. I know you. I know how it feels.
Yeah, I mean it's great. Like I like going out there. I used to go out there for NAM, which is like it's like a music trade show. Um, and it's great to go out. The weather's awesome. It's January and it's like 80 degrees. 70, 80 degrees. When at least the times I'm there, and it's great. It's like in the middle of winter. in Pennsylvania, it's like a haven. So when we used to do that in January, that was cool. But like
Florida.
you can't bring your shit with you. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah, that's
why? And it's like I'm familiar with that with New Jersey and New York, but it's just like it's toxic, man. If I cross a bridge downtown, man, I'm a felon, you know, a felon because I'm definitely carrying. Well, I'm a felon because of my ammunition. My magazine capacity is 15 rounds, but I'm a felon
yeah,
because of
Florida.
ammunition. But I'm also a felon because I'm carrying, of course, a firearm on my person without a license or permit. But it's just like Jersey, man, something else. Jersey, New York, just special places,
This,
man.
the
If I had
city,
to
man.
choose
You gotta get out
between
the
New
city.
York and Jersey, I'd probably choose Jersey, though. I'll tell you that. If I had to choose, but
Yeah, I can't do that city life. Like California is still kind of too city for me.
I like the city. I like the city. I just don't. I don't like. I
I
don't
don't like the
like.
closeness. I don't like being so close to people.
To
I like
me,
I like
it is it is it is more dense. I will say that it definitely is more dense. But generally speaking, I like having access to the city. Some of the in my case, like some of the resources that it offers, and et cetera, et cetera. That's cool, right? But my problem is when like when you start coming after rights, you know what I'm saying, and that's not cool with me. Certain things like the Second Amendment is what does Philadelphia have the right to tell me about? Like for example, Philadelphia says there's at one point was trying to say that you know you can't have like a rifle or an assault weapon. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like they would be like Philadelphia if they could have their way in the state. They would have something similar to like Cook County in Illinois. You know what I'm saying? Where like an AR-15 would be
walk around with
illegal. You
weapons.
know what I'm saying? But like it's nuts. But yeah, I generally speaking, Pennsylvania is pretty pro gun. It doesn't look pro like it. When I say it doesn't look pro gun, I mean like it. It's not something that's like when you think Texas, it's synonymous with firearms. You know
Oh
what I'm
yeah, like
saying?
the
But when you
South.
think Pennsylvania, it's not immediately apparent. But it's actually a really pro gun state and its actions, and I hope it stays that way for a long time. And I
Yeah,
will
because you guys
fight
a
it
lot of
to
open
the death.
space.
Fight for it till the death. So, but yeah, yeah, man, this has been fun. I know I was rambling
Hey
towards the
man,
end.
yeah,
We have one viewer again. I don't know if we should stay on or
alright.
not. I don't know what to
No,
do.
that's good.
All right,
Yeah, hey man, if you want to link up this weekend, we
Def.
can. That way, you can put out, hey, when we drop a topic, and we'll for 2 days, we'll go over that.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
whatever you want to say.
Yeah. Let's try and make this a regular thing. I'm sure it'd be.
Oh
It.
yeah, like a weekly thing. I mean, I'm down with
Yeah.
that. Like at least once a week.
Yeah, man. I think it'd work out. I think it'd work out. We'll see. We'll see.
Exactly, man. I see potential every time I link up with somebody.
Yeah,
I
man.
love to
This is
see
great.
the black gun ownership.
Yeah. We exist.
Exactly, we
We
here.
fucking exist. So yeah, so it's something that I think it's needed. So
Right.
at the very minimum, yeah, something at least weekly. But if it's monthly or something like that, we can put a panel together of everybody. It doesn't just have to be all types. Everybody is welcome. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
that's
I'll definitely reach out to people like who send me stuff like I'll have like cinematics. Well, 77 Solutions. He's a black holster maker. You
yeah,
got Alter Kingdom. He's an instructor. We got Tig, Marshall Tig. She's a female instructor, so we can get
very
like
good.
the female point of view. So yeah, this could actually work out. I can see this working out very well.
Yeah, man. So let's make it happen.
All right,
That's really that's where it's at. Let's make it happen. All right,
all right, man.
all right, man. It's been good.
All right,
All
you
right,
too. I appreciate the chat.
no problem.
All right,
Peace.
stay safe.